My name is Morgan. I've been training on and off at Loco Motion for almost 4 years, maybe. I work for a company that produces documentaries about climate change and environmental hazards. I feel connected to the earth and my own body, knowing that they're very similar. And my goal is to try to heal the planet by healing my own self and my community, and then healing the planet. I was never an athlete. I was really never super fit growing up. I was on the gymnastics team, but I couldn't do that much. I was very flexible, but not very strong. I had decent balance, but I was never really able to hold up my own body. I started doing yoga in my early 20s, which kind of transformed my life and my body and how I interact with the world. And then over time, kind of getting out of yoga and not really sure where my body was being called to. Didn't really feel like running, didn't really feel like going into a traditional gym. So it's actually pretty serendipitous how I found Loco Motion, because I was living in Colorado and someone introduced me to a movement gym there. And I only got to attend for a few months before I moved back to New York. And I felt like that was the thing that I was gonna miss the most, that I wouldn't be able to recreate anywhere else. And then when I moved back to my hometown on Long Island, I found out that there was a movement gym less than 15 minutes from my house. So it kind of just seemed perfect to be able to continue the movement practice. The traditional way of working out just wasn't working for me anymore. This kind of structured, I have to spend 1 hour working out in the gym to stay fit or stay in shape, just really wasn't calling to me anymore. I would dread going to the gym. And I knew that there was something else out there that was more exploratory and more exciting and more fun than a very isolated gym practice. That's kind of what called me here. I also needed friends. And I found a bunch of them. And some of the most important people in my life I met right here at Loco Motion. When I was in kindergarten, the first time a music teacher came into our class, he came and sat with us, and he didn't bring any instruments with him. He just kind of showed us that like our first instruments are our bodies, and we can like play with our own bodies. And I had this like aha moment just like this year where I was like, oh, our bodies are meant to be played with. They're toys, like they're instruments, like it's supposed to be fun in here. The way that I see my own body is that it's fun in here, and it's like it's fun to be in here and to find more freedom, because I know a lot of people don't have that feeling of feeling really happy in their own skin and in their own body. I have spent a lot of years wishing that I could crawl out of my own skin, and now I feel so grateful for my own skin and that I have it. So the movement practice has evolved my body, and it's opened up my spine. It's empowered me to find my own strength. Movement practice has also made those things aware to me. So the things that I was telling myself that I couldn't do, or I wasn't strong enough, or I don't want to do that because I can't. I have really shifted how I move in class and in practice by being like, okay, I can do that. Or maybe I can't do it right now, but here's the pathway to get there, rather than just saying, I can't do it and I'm not even gonna try. My spine has opened up. I'm significantly stronger. And I have like an incredible community around me, which is honestly like the most important piece. I think that that's like what so many of us are missing in our world. Like we go into a regular gym and we have our head down, our headphones on. We've isolated ourselves so much. So finding community around me has opened up my heart in a way that I didn't know was possible, genuinely. My goals at Loco Motion have definitely, or my goals in my overall practice, my movement practice, have shifted over time. I spoke a little bit about spending time in a more traditional gym setting, lifting weights, and a lot of it was aesthetic, was important for me to look a certain way so I could have confidence. But my approach to training has shifted over time. So rather than going to the gym to punish myself for whatever, you know, which was kind of what I was doing, was punishing myself, I found that it can be something that's more just fun and you can do to feel good, especially someone who sits and works in front of a computer all day. I also really want to be able to do a pull-up. My goal has been to do a pull-up for so long, and every time I would try, I would be so frustrated that I couldn't do it, because I hadn't practiced it and like actually put in the work to get there. So I have been every week just showing up even when I feel weak or even when I don't feel like I'm making progress, and continue to work on pulling strength so that I can find a pull-up so that I can pull myself over a cliff if I fall and someone's chasing me, or if the zombie apocalypse happens, I want to be able to pull myself up over a building. So another goal I have is to be able to do a handstand press. I've been working on handstands for a long time. It's actually the one skill that I came into Loco Motion already working on from my yoga practice, and I had taught and trained handstands for a decent amount of time, but almost exclusively, like where it was the only thing I was doing, and it was kind of blocking me off from other things. And not only that, but I was training in my own capacity. So coming to handstand class and kind of pushing myself past this limit, I have found new strength and lift in my handstand, where it used to feel very heavy, where I could hold myself up, but I felt like I was weighing down into the ground. Now I feel this like upward lift. My other goals are really to just find more freedom of movement in my spine. I spent a lot of years just like locked up and tight in my spine, and now finding this like really freedom of movement and spending time around people who don't think I'm weird for doing that, or do think I'm weird and love me for being weird. The answers aren't outside of you, they're inside of you, and if you can explore your own spine, you can find your freedom there. So rather than kind of going in with this expectation of how it's gonna look or how other people will perceive you, it's more important how it feels on the inside. So I would tell people that their freedom lives in their own spine, and this is an opportunity to explore their spine and find that freedom. It can be scary, but pushing through that fear and understanding why it's there in the first place is like, I think, some of the most powerful things I've witnessed in the community around me in my time in Loco Motion.